Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think we'll start with Coach. Another flat, emotionless presentation, no doubt, from him. Come on up, Coach.
Coach Norvell, you're recognized. Everyone recognizes Coach Norvell. Welcome, Coach. You're recognized.
Thank you so much to the board, Chairman, President Thrasher, A.D. Coburn. I'm excited to be here today to be able to give a little update about the program, kind of where we are with football and, some of the different dynamics that have presented themselves throughout the course of not only this last year, but continuing to extend on, into this offseason. I can tell you there is a lot of excitement around our program. We're just now entering phase 2 of our winter conditioning program. Our guys have, started back, since, early January, really with a great purpose. There's been a ton of investment in their development, not only physically, but also the mental development of what we're trying to do, continuing to build upon the foundation of what we've done over the course of the last year. And it's no secret that this past calendar year was a challenge. There were challenges in all aspects, and much like there was across the university, across the country. We saw a lot of those things show up within our football program. But I will tell you that I've been excited for the growth, and we've seen a lot of those examples of growth, not only in our guys from what they're doing on the field and how they're preparing and understanding the importance of all aspects of what they do, as a student athlete. But we've really seen a lot of that growth show up there in the classroom. I know it was celebrated, last year in the spring semester, our first semester together, where we had the highest team GPA ever in program history with over a 3.1 team GPA, and we followed that up here this fall with the highest team GPA ever in the fall semester with over a 2.8. So, our guys are making the investment. And, the investment that they're making physically, I mean, it's going to be exciting to get out on the field come March 9th to see the physical development being shown out there on the practice field. Last year we only had 3 spring practices, so I'm kind of, there's a real sense of excitement to get out there and to see these guys build, continue to focus on the fundamentals and the growth of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish. But we will start spring practice on March 9th, and then we will have a spring game there on April 10th. And there's a tremendous buzz around our program for what's to come with that. I wanted to touch just a little bit about, some of the interesting dynamics that we've seen. Obviously COVID, over the course of the last year, in recruiting. It is really really forced us to adjust, in some aspects of how we've recruited. This last year's class was one that, really was a picture of some of those challenges that showed up. Since March 13th. Of 2020, we have been in a dead period in college football and across all of college athletics. And so, not having our coaches, them not having the opportunity to go out into the high schools, not having the opportunity to bring prospective student athletes on campus to be able to have that face-to-face interaction, it was a unique dynamic. I think we did a tremendous job with utilizing the virtual tours, being able to showcase our university, the academics, just all aspects of what it is to be a student athlete and a football player here at Florida State. I was really pleased with how we were able to adapt and adjust that. But it also kind of changed a little bit of the dynamic of how we went about putting that class together. And we were able to sign 15 high school student athletes. Really excited about the young men that we were able to attract to the program. 5 of those have already started here in January, and I can tell you they are absolutely the right fit for what we're looking for and the way that they've joined the program already. And then we were also able to go out and we have 7 transfers that have joined our program. Part of the and I'll be transparent. I don't really moving forward, I don't really want to have that ratio with, we want to build this program, from the high school ranks. Obviously we have the greatest recruiting base, here with the state of Florida and South Georgia, and here locally of what we can do. So we want that to be the focus, but we're always going to look for the right fit. And this past season, we had the youngest football team in all of college football. 75% of our roster was freshmen or sophomores. So it really did provide a unique dynamic that we could go out there and find the right fit in the transfer portal. And, being able to bring these guys in, we signed, it was 4 graduate transfers that have joined the program already, and then the other 3 transfers that have come in. These guys have done a remarkable job. And that's one of the things I've really enjoyed over the last 6 weeks, is seeing those relationships that are being built and the way that our team is coming together and understanding the expectation, understanding the work that's required, but also being able to see some of that leadership from their peers of what it takes to be successful. And that's something that we're truly focusing on, not just what's going on in between the white lines, but what's going on in every aspect of their life, developing that mindset, that approach of, we've got to work, we've got to push, and we got to develop that discipline and accountability in every aspect of what we do. But I really am excited about where we are. But you can also see the buzz and the excitement of what's going on in the future classes. When we got here, we made a tremendous investment in the time that we're spending getting to know the coaches, whether it's which it ended up being phone calls or Zoom meetings or things like that. But looking at the future classes, the 22, the 23, the 24 class, making sure that we could start that relationship building early. And we're seeing a great return here early in that process with where we're going from there. But like I said, it's a lot of excitement. I'm looking forward to getting back on the field and for all the things that's in front of our program and the opportunity that's before us. But I'd love to take any questions if anybody had any.
I'm certain we have some questions, and you can ask him anything except how many wins he's going to have next year. You can ask recruiting. He's good. No, he's Coach Norvell's happy to answer any questions anyone has. Let's start with online and some of our virtual guests. Any questions or comments you want to make with Coach Norvell?
Yes, thanks for what you're doing. And I know you've been around the state to see a lot of Seminoles, and I contact with them, and thanks for the energy and the drive at doing that. And now June is not with us today, but I know she has a couple plays she'd like to have called. We'll get those to you, Coach.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, and that's one of the things that's really been nice, here over the course of the last few weeks, and it brings great supporters. And I know it's with COVID that we haven't had that opportunity with the spring tour and different factors like that. But it's been great getting a chance to kind of share the vision and you understand the values of what we're instilling into our student athletes. And I know Miss June will get me those plays in a prompt fashion. So I'm looking forward to those.
Any other comments from our online guests?
It's John Thiel. I just want to thank Coach for his, his dignity in face of all the adversity that the world's going through. And I just think you've handled yourself really, really well, and just want to commend you.
Thank you, sir. And we're as our coaching staff and the leadership within our athletic department, our staff, and everybody, we've got to be the example for our young men. And there are challenges that arise. There are difficult situations, but as I tell them all the time that our identity is defined by our response. And anybody can act a certain way when it's 70 degrees and sunny, but when there's a challenging situation that arises, your response that speaks to who you truly are, and that's what we're working on every day with our football players, our staff, and so I appreciate that comment, and we're excited about you continuing to build upon that as we move forward.
Trustee Thiel, I think when we hired Coach Norvell, we did a series of interviews. The team had met him earlier than I was part of a series of interviews. He's the first one we talked to, and then his resounding commitment to character was what brought us back to Coach Norvell, and to strength of character and the principles they live by, which is really what you're talking about. And he's lived that through a lot of adversity. And the leader, whoever could have imagined when he agreed to come here last December that we'd be dealing with everything that we dealt with in the last year. And so I second Coach Trustee Thiel for his comments about how you've handled yourself in this immense period of adversity, and we're looking forward to what would be whatever the post-normal, the more normal is, seeing your program. Any other comments from our online group? Don't want to cut anyone off. Someone needs to mute probably if you're not. Anybody else? How about anyone here, trustees?
I would just say, I told Coach the other night when we had the event, I said if I was 5 inches taller and about 100 more pounds, I'd be with him. But I'm not. So we got to support him any way we can. But one thing I would say is,
Do you want to be younger too? I don't want to just.
Yes.
I don't want to.
yes,
Taller, bigger.
more hair, yeah,
Taller, bigger, and a little younger would be.
all the above.
That's right.
I would say that I hear from a lot of my friends that say, well, the university's going to, or the football team or whatever athletic sport it is going to have to show me something before I'm back all in. And I think that that's like backwards, right? You're either a supporter of FSU or you're not. And so I always talk to those people about, in the last year I've talked about you. I said, look what he walked into. Right? And what if he'd had that attitude? If the university's got to show me something before, I'm all in. So I would say this, not necessarily to Coach, but I would say it to David and to Mike, that we need to find those people that are sitting out there that feel that way, and we need to round them up, and we need to get to them, and we need to get Coach in front of them.
Appreciate that. I know you're off to a great 2023 recruiting class. I saw a commitment from a defensive end. That was pretty good. You even got a great 2022 class started, and I think it's going well. Any other comments or questions for the coach? Well, Coach, we thank you for being here. President, anything you want to add?
No, Mike knows how I feel about him. I felt exactly the same way as Chairman Burr said when I first met him. I felt his passion for the love of football and love of the young men who play it. And that, to me, is transformational. And you're doing a good job in doing that. Everybody should know that. Nobody's working harder than he is to make sure that our program is an excellent program. And I know we're going to get there. I know we're already there in a lot of ways, but we're going to get there from the standpoint of what people look at, wins and losses and all that. But, Coach, I couldn't be prouder that you're our head football coach.
Well, I'm absolutely honored to be able to represent this program, and I know that everybody's watching, and it's not just what we do there in the fall. It's in every aspect, because we are building this program with an unbelievably strong foundation, because we are going to achieve success. But then we're going to be prepared to sustain it as we move forward. And I truly believe those values and that commitment, the investment, we understand what it takes, and we're committed to doing that day in and day out. So thank you for the support. I really appreciate the board for the opportunity to be able to give an update. And we're excited for this spring and hope to get to see everybody here later this spring at the spring game. And definitely looking forward to everybody this fall. So you guys have a wonderful rest of the meeting, and go Noles.
Thank you, Coach. I know the next mat drills are Tuesday morning. If anybody wants to participate, he'll be glad to let you give it a shot. It won't last long. It won't last long. Thank you, Coach.